Hi guys, welcome to today's mini tutorial. The focus of the tutorial today will be data migration into the IntelliCRM using the IntelliCRM import wizard. So you may not be familiar with IntelliCRM. You may have just applied for one of the 30-day free trials that we have, and you want to go about importing some data you currently have into the system so you can begin to either evaluate or use the IntelliCRM tool. Now, currently you may be working from a bunch of Excel spreadsheets. Alternatively, you may already be using a relational database tool, such as some other CRM, for example, and you are looking at migrating from that platform to IntelliCRM to use some of the additional benefits that we have in our system. Now, that's the example we're going to play with today. We're going to take an example of some data that we've exported from an existing Sugar CRM system, and we're going to be importing in contacts, accounts, and opportunities into IntelliCRM. I'm going to show you how to do that and also how to maintain the relationships that currently exist between those record types in IntelliCRM. Okay, so we're going to get started. We currently have a blank, completely fresh version of IntelliCRM Basic. We don't have any records installed in here, entered in here at all at the moment. We are going to be working with 3 files that I have exported from another CRM. Like I said, I exported these from Sugar CRM. So we're going to be exporting, we exported accounts, contacts, and opportunities from that system, and we're going to be importing those into IntelliCRM today. Now, what I've done prior to today's training, today's example, is I've gone in and I've had a look at the values that I had in here in each of these CSVs. I'll quickly show you what the data looks like in the accounts CSV. You'll see it's real standard. It's just comma delimited. We don't have any commas or any double commas in here or anything else at all. It's pretty straightforward. It's a very simple standard. So we've got the headers across the top here, and we have their values given below, separated by commas. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the CRM now. And like I said to you before, this is a completely fresh copy. So we don't have anything in here. So the first step, and what I would recommend as a best practice, is to always begin by importing accounts into the system. So we're going to jump into the accounts module. And once in here, again, you'll see that we don't have any records listed in our accounts module at the moment. So we are going to click on the import option over on the left-hand side on the shortcuts menu. And that will take us to step 1 of our data import wizard. Now, you can use the same ideas that we're going to cover here today to import any kind of data into the system. Like I said, we're going to run with the example that we've exported a bunch of data from an existing relational database, and we want to import those and maintain the relationships. But you can still use this if you need to just import flat databases to get the information into the CRM. So we've already seen our CSV file. It's going to ask us a little bit about the information we're going to be importing. It is a comma delimited file. We don't have the fields qualified by anything. If you did have your fields qualified by a double quote or a single quote, you'd specify that here. We don't, and so we're going to leave that as none. It's going to ask us about the import action and what we actually want to do at import. We have the option to create records and create and update records. Today we're going to be creating records. Okay, so we're going to hit next. Okay, so we're pushed through to step 2. It's basically going to ask us for the file that we're going to upload. So we're going to hit Browse. We're going to select our account CSV, which has all of the details about our accounts. You see there's a checkbox here that says Has Header. You would have seen in the CSV file that we do have a header row, so that specifies out the names, the column names of our different fields. So we're going to leave that checked, and we're going to click through on to step 3. Now step 3 deals with the mapping of the fields that we have in our CSV file to the database fields that they're going to represent in IntelliCRM. So you see this, how this is sectioned out. We have 4 columns here. We have the database field. This allows us to specify what database field our data is going to be mapped to in IntelliCRM. The second column is the header row. Now this specifies each of the header rows that we have in our CSV file. Okay, you'll see that the first ones that picked up here are ID, account name, description. If I look into our CSV file, you'll see that that's what's represented here: ID, account name, description, and they're all separated by commas. If there isn't already a value available, you can put in a default value in the third column. I won't jump into that too much. And over on the file side, the final column, it's actually going to show you some example information from the very first row of the CSV file that we're importing. So that's very useful if sometimes your header rows are not particularly intuitive. You can actually look at the actual information you're importing here and double check that that's going to be what field you want to map it to. So you'll also notice that IntelliCRM has been intelligent enough to go in and have a look at the header rows and see if it can actually already do some of the work for us. You'll see this picked up the header row ID here. It's actually gone in and found and already mapped for us the ID database field in IntelliCRM. So it is intelligent and it will do some of the work for you when it can. Where it cannot identify a similar field in IntelliCRM, it'll just say do not map this field, and you'll have to come in here, click on this drop down, and physically select the field that you want to map to the data that you have in your CSV. So you see here that account name, it hasn't managed to map that to a particular field in the IntelliCRM, so we're going to have to physically select this off. Incidentally, account name is a required field in IntelliCRM, so this is one we need to map up. Otherwise, we're going to get an error when we do the import, and it'll point you to go back and do this. So you see that the required fields are showing up here as being in red, so that helps you out a little bit as well. So the account name is going to be mapped to name. And we'll go through and we'll have a look at some of these other ones. It didn't map up annual revenue for us, so we'll jump in. There we go. We do have one for annual revenue. And, okay, it's got secondary address. We're going to map these up in IntelliCRM. The address is going to be, the secondary address will be the shipping address, typically. So I'll just quickly map these up. And the shipping address, city. Shipping address state, and shipping address postal code. Okay, and the others, it's actually gone away and it's picked up some of these for us already. Obviously, it's worth checking at this stage when it does try and pick up the matching field in IntelliCRM, if it does exist. Double check and just make sure that is the correct field that you actually want to map to. Just double check on what the system's done for you. So we'll say that we're happy at this stage. We are happy with the field mapping that we've agreed here on the screen. So we're going to go down and we're going to click on Import Now to go ahead and begin with the import. Now you see we're importing 59 records. It's whizzed through and it's done that for us. And we are delivered to the import results page. So it tells us that it's had success and that 59 records have been created successfully.